What's up, everybody? Today we're going to go through the ins and outs of how to reload 308. I use the case tumbler by Frankford Arsenal. You toss the brass in, you let it tumble until it gets to your desired cleanliness, and you filter it out. Okay, our brass has been cleaned. Now we have to remove the primer. Now, what I use is the case lube pad by RCBS. With the RCBS case lube, you take about a spoonful and about a teaspoonful of RCBS case lube, or any other lube realistically, and you rub it in this pad, okay, because everything's better with a little lube. And so you're going to rub or roll rather your brass on the pad, and we're going to set it up to deprime it. Now, our deprimer is the die with the needle that sticks out the bottom there. So in that action right there, this die has deprimed, right, removed the primer from the primer pocket, as well as resized the neck and the shoulder. So as we can see here, now we have an unprimed 308 brass casing, and you can see the red, that red glue there, that's primer adhesive from the factory. And to remove that, we'll bring it over here to our 5-stage case cleaner. Now these first three here clean the primer pocket. This one chamfers where the projectile enters, and this one deburrs it. So we'll give this one just a quick press, and you can see this also chamfers the pocket side, and it will remove, see how that red just goes away there? Removes that. This one here will clean out the bottom of the primer pocket, get all the excess junk out of there. It's really hard to tell when it's lighting. And then this one here rubs flat against the primer pocket just to verify that all extra junk and particulates from the case tumbler is just gone. Now with the chamfer, that gives us a nice beveled edge for the projectile to enter. As you can tell there, now that inside edge is nice and shiny. Pretty hard to tell again with this lighting. And then the deburr one will actually clean up the burrs, if there are any, on the outside of the neck. So there we have a casing that is ready to be processed. In the reloading world, there are many sources of information, but tried and true, the Hornady Book of Reloading Cartridges, this is my Bible that I refer to every time that I'm reloading. So in here, we will flip to, this is what the cover looks like, right? So we're gonna flip to the 308 Winchester, and in here, we will see that the case overall length is no longer than 2.015 inches. And here, we will check this case. And we have, here, I'll show you, 2.022. So we have to trim this case. So what we have to do here is we take our shell plate and we put it inside this is my Hornady case trimmer here. Put the shell plate, you put the shell plate in here, then you put the casing in the shell plate, and then you spin it, and what that does is that takes off length off the neck. Okay, so now our brass measures at 2.006 inches. And if we look at our Bible here, our case trim length is 2.005 inches, as it says right there. So we will put this back inside our case trimmer, and we will take some more off. Separate it, remeasure. So now we're at 2.001 inches. That puts us within inside the range of our case trim length of 2.005. So now we go back to our 5-stage case prep station, but this time we're not going to use the primer pockets. We're just going to use our chamfer and deburr section here, because as you can see, that case trimmer flattens everything out and gives it a really coarse edge. See that right there? Well, maybe not. Right there. So now we will chamfer, clean that out. Gives us a nice beveled interior edge there, and then we will deburr. And now we are back to normal, ready to proceed. Now before we add any primers in, we have to make sure that we have the right size primer. That's super important. There are, well, there's at least 4 different kinds, right? So we have the small pistol primers. There's the small rifle primers. Now these are pretty much size specific. You'll be able to tell the difference between a 223 primer and a 300 Win Mag primer, or the 308 primer. This takes a small rifle primer, this takes a large rifle primer, this takes a Magnum primer. Now our large rifle primers and our large rifle Magnum primers are the same size. It's just the Magnum has a little bit more oomph behind it to burn up all the extra powder. For example, the 300 Win Mag versus the 308. The size difference there is drastic. This one has about twice the amount of gunpowder in it. So these primer cases come with 10 rows of 10 in there, and I'm not going to hold it all the way sideways because they'll all pour out, but you can dictate how many rounds you're going to reload by how many primers you have or how many cases you have, etc. So what I'll do is I'll take our primer turner here. This is just a piece of plastic here. This has got ribs on it, and our primers have a little prong on the back side that those ribs catch, and they'll all turn over with just a little shake of the wrist. So I'll just pull out 20 just for sake of argument, right? So they're all kind of flopped over and sideways. You put the case back on and you shake it, and what the ridges are doing is it's going to turn the primers over so they're all right side up. So we have all of our primers facing with the core up. So what we'll do is we will actually flip them so the shiny side is facing up, and we're going to go through and we're going to collect them with our primer tube here. And they snap in pretty quickly done. Now with our stopper in place, we'll rotate them over, put the plastic cap back on, and then set it right where it belongs and pull our stopper out. And what this does here is this loads the primer right into that right there, which will then insert inside of our brass. Alright, so our case is still properly lubed from before, so what we'll do is we'll raise it up, we'll pop the primer feeder in, we'll come down and we'll press it in, raise it back up, and there you'll see the primer. It's got to be pressed in a little bit more. You don't want to have that die, or sorry, as you see now we're good. The good test is if it'll stand there without wobbling. That's right. Okay, so now we revert back to our Bible. We'll be loading in 165 grain BTSP interlocks. And in this Bible here, it will have every bit of information that we need. So 165 grain, let's see, BTSP interlocks. Okay, so for that, we're going to come down to Accurate 2495 because that's the powder that we're using, Accurate 2495. And I don't like to max out, so the red means the absolute maximum. I like to step it back some. So we'll shoot 38.8 grains of Accurate 2495. So in my Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper, I have Accurate 2495 already in there. So we'll change our target here where it says target. We're going to change that to 38.8 grains, and we'll hit start. And it only takes a couple seconds to get an accurate measurement. Prior to this, I was using the beam scale, but this is just a complete time saver. We'll take our funnel and put it in our case. Okay, so then we have 38.8 grains of 24.95 going in the casing right there. We'll turn that off. Now we'll grab our 165 grain projectile. We'll pop this in right there. Now this is our bullet cedar die. So now what we'll do, we'll put that in there and then we crank it. Okay, so with our caliper zeroed out, we're going to measure our overall bullet length. And here you'll see we're at 2.7565 inches. And per our Bible, our maximum case overall length is 2.81 inches. So now this is good to go. And I will put a factory or my own crimp on it. Crimp it. Now we have successfully made one .308 round ready to be sent downrange. Now if you like what you watch, hit subscribe. This is a brand new channel, I'm just now starting, but I plan on doing a lot more stuff related to this and outdoor activities, shooting, you name it. Let's have some fun together. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you.